We got to talk about this insane thing that went on behind the scenes when it comes to Trump's healthcare plan. So as you all know, we had the government shutdown and Democrats were holding out to try to get the Obamacare subsidies expanded. And, you had Trump and Republicans basically say, no, go fuck yourself. And eventually Chuck Schumer caved because he's a little bitch. But there was no real conclusion when it comes to the healthcare subsidies. There was this promise of a vote by December or something like that. And Trump decided, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and release our proposal and we'll get that through. So we'll address this issue of healthcare before, these current subsidies run out. Now, the interesting thing is Trump effectively was kind of trying to re-up the Obamacare subsidies by another name, right? Because there's what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? The ways you can approach healthcare, you could do single payer Medicare for all, right? You can do a public option. There's other forms of universal health care, but the Republicans support none of those things. And then you have what was the right-wing solution of, Obamacare, because Obamacare is based off Romney Care. It's based off the Heritage Foundation plan, which is a right-wing think tank. So the idea is it's called an individual mandate system. You basically have a private health insurance marketplace, but you give people subsidies if they're, working class, and then they can afford the health care. Those are the only options when it comes to crafting a healthcare system. And so Obama did their idea and they're like, well, now we hate that. So then what's your position, Republicans? What do you want to do? And basically, Alan Grayson was correct back in the day when he said the Republican healthcare plan is don't get sick. And if you get sick, die quickly. That's actually their belief. So now they're in a corner. Trump, his approval rating is 36%. He knows if these premiums double, triple, quadruple, that his approval rating is going to go even lower. He'll be 20-something% for sure. Never mind a market crash on top of that. Never mind a massive increase in unemployment on top of that. Never mind grocery prices going up even more on top of that. So he knows I got to do something. So basically, he decided, let's just do the Obamacare subsidies, but not call them that. Okay? And they were just about to release the plan, and Trump thought, I'll release this. We'll get the Republicans to vote for it. We'll be all good. And at the very last second, and I mean the very last second, like a millisecond before the plan was going to be announced, it was pulled back by the White House, feeding into the whole taco Trump thing. Trump always chickens out. Ready? So here, this happened live on CNN. This is crazy to watch. Here we go.
We're learning President Trump is planning to unveil a new health care proposal. And at this point, we're still waiting to know exactly what's in it. But we're told it could include a temporary extension of the Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies, which are due to expire at the end of the year. They were at the center of the government shutdown. However, the subsidies could come with some fresh guardrails that could include new income limits and a requirement that everyone pay some form of a premium. Now, we should note that if the subsidies do expire, millions of Americans are expected to see their premiums more than double next year. Zach Cooper is joining us now. He's a professor of health policy at Yale University. Zach, thanks for being here. As I noted, we are very much still waiting for specifics here. I'm sorry, this has actually been, sorry, Zach, we're getting breaking news while I'm talking to you. I have learned that the White House has postponed its expected unveiling of this new health care proposal. It was expected to be unveiled today. We'll learn more, hopefully, about that in the coming moments. But again, this is postponed, but we can talk about the ideas here.
Very last second. Now, why? Why did they have to postpone it? Mike Johnson had to secretly warn Trump his big plan would blow up in his face. So in other words, he was facing a Republican revolt where they were like, we're not supporting the Obamacare subsidies being expanded, even if you change the name of it. Even if you change the name of it and you tweak little things here or there, we're not going to fucking support that. So, the leopards are now coming to eat Trump's face because all you guys talk this big, we're going to repeal Obamacare. They tried to repeal it over 70 times, right? And so they settled now, and now that they control everything, they try to defund Obamacare. Now they have that, and they're thinking yeah, we'll do this, and that'll be great. We're getting our way. They don't care. They don't know, or they don't care, or both, about the widespread fucking carnage that's going to happen as a result of them getting their way. They have no idea what they're about to start, or if they do, they're genuinely sadistic little demons who get off on the pain of others. Because you have doubling, tripling, quadrupling, sometimes more than that, of people's health insurance premiums. People will not have health insurance anymore, and that will lead to a cascading effect where health insurance costs go up even more for the people who are still on there. Then they'll have to drop it. We're looking at the total collapse and implosion of our health insurance system, and they don't care. They don't care. So in other words, the House Republicans are true Kool-Aid drinking anarcho-capitalist idiots. And Trump is just basically desperately trying to save his ass. So he's saying, yeah, let's do Trump care subsidies or something, which are basically just like copying the Obamacare subsidies. And now you have Mike Johnson going to Trump going, hey, dog, we got a problem here. We got a problem. Like, we're actually experiencing a revolt now among the Republicans. They're not going to vote for your fucking subsidies. They don't want any fucking healthcare subsidies. Well, boy, oh boy, is that a massive, massive blue wave in the midterms looking overwhelmingly likely now, bro. You guys think you could just get away with this? Like, you think there's going to be no fucking consequences for this? There's going to be, oh my God, it might be like legendary. It might actually be like FDR style numbers for Democrats, because these Republicans are so insane and they're going to hurt so many people that they're playing with fire. They have no idea. Even with the Democrats like basically being boring and not, being all about that much, they'll still end up winning in a massive wave just by virtue of the fact that they're not Republicans, right? I mean, that's what we kind of looked at in the last election that we had. And that dynamic is only going to get stronger as time goes by, because this is just wild, bro. This is just absolutely wild. So I don't know what Trump's going to do, but he's between a rock and a hard place. And now it's also, guys, it should be said, it's also now coming back to bite him in the ass that for so long he's been disrespecting the House Republicans, right? I mean, look at the Doge shit. They basically overrode the House Republicans. They usurped the power of the purse from Congress. Trump had the world's richest man go in there and cut pediatric cancer research and Meals on Wheels and violate the Impoundment Control Act. Trump is openly skirting Congress when it comes to all his wars, his bombing of Yemen, his bombing of Somalia, his bombing of Iran, his bombing of Venezuelan fishing boats, now an attempted regime change in Venezuela. Like, he's gone around them and told them, you're fucking useless. He's made them defend him to the point where they get death threats. And then now he's going to try to steamroll them and basically do Obamacare by another name. And they're like, we're not voting for this. Okay. All right. Let me know how that works for all of y'all. Let me know how that works. So if you're the Democrats, it's literally like, the Xi Jinping meme where it says, do nothing, win. If you're the Democrats, that's literally where you're at now. Do nothing, win. Because if they actually go through with this and they don't do any subsidies for healthcare, they're not going to do Medicare for all. They're not going to do a public option, and they're not going to do any subsidies. Oh my God. Oh my God. Guys, you have no idea what's coming. You heard it here first. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.